A woman is accusing Sean Diddy Combs of drugging and raping her when she was 16 years old in 2000.
In the meantime, let's go back to New York City. Want to get some updates on the case that is unfolding there regarding Sean Diddy
It's
Combs.
the kind of story you wouldn't believe even if it were written into a movie script. Of the most powerful figures in the entertainment world, Diddy Combs, man whose empire is built on music, fashion, and undeniable charisma, suddenly finds himself betrayed by the one person he thought he could trust above all others, his own mother, Janice Combs. Yes, you heard that right. The very woman who raised him, who he credited with his success, is now at the center of a scandal. So shocking it has everyone talking. What if the person who taught him loyalty and perseverance turned out to have her own agenda all along?
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Let's set the stage. Diddy, with his larger-than-life persona, is used to being in control. Whether it's running his multi-million-dollar record label, throwing elaborate events, or managing his sprawling business ventures. But behind the scenes, his financial world has been unraveling. The FBI's recent investigation into his assets revealed a stunning discrepancy: hundreds of millions of dollars unaccounted for, mysteriously vanishing from offshore accounts and hidden holdings. And here's where it gets juicy. Whispers in the industry started pointing fingers at none other than his mother, Janice Combs. Janice has long been a figure of admiration and strength in Diddy's life. She raised him after the untimely loss of his father, and, by all accounts, she made sacrifices to ensure he had the private school education and opportunities that set him on the path to stardom. But as the investigation deepened, cracks began to form in that perfect image. Evidence suggested that Janice not only had access to Diddy's financial account, but also may have been orchestrating transfers and withdrawals. Without his knowledge, could this really be true? Could the woman who'd been by his side through every milestone have been quietly siphoning his fortune for her own plans, adding fuel to the fire? Janice's sudden and unexplained departure from the United States raised even more questions. Just as the FBI began closing in on the source of the funds, Janice seemingly vanished. Sources close to the family say she left in the middle of the night, boarding a private jet headed for an undisclosed location. The timing couldn't have been more suspicious. One day, she's seen attending court hearings to support her son. And the next, she's gone. Without a trace, speculation ran wild. Did she flee to avoid questioning? Was she planning this all along? And most importantly, what does she know about the allegations against her son?
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties.
To truly understand how we got here, we have to examine the dynamics within the Combs family. On the surface, everything appeared picture perfect: the glamorous events, the tight-knit siblings, and the public declarations of love. But behind the scenes, insiders have hinted at long-standing tensions. Diddy's rise to fame and fortune came with sacrifices, and not everyone close to him saw eye to eye. Some family members reportedly felt sidelined, their contributions overlooked. Could this have been the spark that led to Janice's alleged betrayal? Did she feel entitled to a larger share of the empire her son built? Or was something even deeper at play? The drama doesn't end there. Rumors suggest that Janice's actions weren't just about money, they were about control. It's no secret that Diddy's legal troubles have been mounting, with allegations and lawsuits piling up. Now, some are questioning whether Janice played a role in steering him towards self-destruction. Did she enable certain behaviors, turning a blind eye to the darker aspects of his lifestyle? And could her sudden disappearance be an attempt to distance herself from the fallout, leaving her son to take the blame while she starts fresh somewhere far away?
During another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
Another layer of intrigue is the alleged fallout between Janice and other members of the Combs family. Sources claim that in the months leading up to her departure, tensions escalated. Diddy's siblings and children reportedly confronted her about access to the family's finances, questioning her intentions. One insider described a particularly intense family meeting where accusations flew, and Janice stormed out, refusing to answer questions. Was this the breaking point that pushed her to leave? And what does it mean for the family now left to deal with the aftermath since her disappearance?
If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect.
Janice has remained silent, but now her past statements are being dissected for clues. In a recent interview, she spoke passionately about her son's resilience and her unwavering support. Yet, in hindsight, some believe her words could have been a smokescreen, an effort to paint herself as a devoted mother while secretly orchestrating a financial coup. Even her public appearances at Diddy's court hearings are now being questioned. Was she standing by him out of loyalty, or was it all an act to deflect suspicion while executing her own plan?
A judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and sex trafficking case.
Perhaps the most shocking aspect of this story is the scale of what's alleged. This isn't about small sums of money. The missing funds represent a significant portion of Diddy's billion-dollar empire. Money meant for business ventures, legal fees, and even his children's future has vanished. The idea that Janice could have accessed and redirected such vast amounts without raising alarms suggests a level of cunning that has left even seasoned investigators stunned. How did she manage to pull this off? And more importantly, who might have helped her?
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
The ripple effects of Janice's actions are being felt far beyond the Combs family. Diddy's associates, employees, and business partners are now scrambling to assess the damage. Contracts are being reviewed, partnerships are being questioned, and trust is in short supply for a man who built his brand on loyalty and family values. The betrayal cuts deep. But the question remains, can Diddy recover from this? Or will the actions of his own mother prove to be the ultimate undoing of an empire he spent? Decades building as the investigation continues, the focus is shifting to what Janice's next move might be. Where did she go and what is she planning? Some believe she's hiding out in a luxurious villa living off the funds she allegedly took others. Think she's laying low, waiting for the dust to settle before making her next move. Either way, her disappearance has left a trail of unanswered questions and a family in turmoil. And with Diddy's legal battles heating up, the timing couldn't be worse.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotape.
Family dynamics have always been complex, but this latest chapter takes it to a whole new level. The betrayal, the missing millions, the sudden escape. It's the stuff of tabloid gold, but beneath the headlines lies a deeper story about trust, loyalty, and the lengths people will go to when they feel wronged, whether Janice's actions were driven by greed, desperation, or something else entirely. One thing is clear: the Combs family will never be the same.
Time frame is important because this happened in hotels, in places that have surveillance, that there's records that could be consistent with his testimony about when he alleges that these parties took place. He probably has his own information about who attended the events. When you're somebody like Sean Combs and you're such a celebrity and you're engaged in this type of behavior, people around you are memorializing it on their own.
People around you are memorializing it. It's on their own. And so we're left with more questions than answers. Was this all part of a grand scheme? Or was it a desperate act by a mother trying to secure her own future? How much did Diddy know about what was happening behind the scenes? And Could he have prevented it? And perhaps most importantly, what happens next as the legal battles intensify and the family drama unfolds? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. Stay tuned because the twists and turns are just beginning.
And Sean Combs get another shot with Judge Subramanian? Or what will be his likelihood of success in a different court? Because there's currently a pending appeal at the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. So to get into all of this, I want to bring on former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani, friend of the show. Nima, thanks so much for coming on. First, before we even get into what he can do.
Now let's dive deeper into the chaos surrounding Diddy's legal battles and what all of this could mean for his future. If you thought the missing millions and his mother's sudden vanishing act were jaw-dropping, just wait, because the storm brewing around Diddy Combs is far from over, with lawsuits piling up, accusations flying from every corner, and the media dissecting his every move. One question looms large: can Diddy survive this? Or is his empire destined to crumble under the weight of these allegations? First,
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee.
Let's talk about the latest claims against Diddy, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse. New accusations keep surfacing, more shocking than the last. We're not talking about isolated incidents here. This is a tidal wave of lawsuits and allegations from people who claim to have been wronged by the music mogul. Some of these claims are from individuals who allege that Diddy used his influence and power to manipulate those around him. Others paint a picture of someone who let his wealth and untouchable status go to his head. And the most recent lawsuits, they're coming not just from those who worked with him, but from people who claim to have witnessed his behavior firsthand. It's as though the walls are closing in and everyone is eager to have their say. Legal experts have been weighing in, and let's just say their opinions are as divided as the public's. Some believe that the evidence against Diddy is overwhelming, that his past finally caught up with him, and that there's no way he'll come out of this unscathed. Others, however, argue that the sheer volume of accusations could actually work in his favor, raising questions about whether some claims are exaggerated or opportunistic. When you're a figure as polarizing as Diddy, it seems, everyone has an opinion, and the court of public opinion can often be just as influential as the legal one.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, you know, it is scary because you think, you know, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
But here's what's really wild. Some insiders are suggesting that these legal troubles might be part of a larger agenda to take Diddy down. Think about it. He's a man who's dominated the music world for decades, built an empire worth hundreds of millions, and become a cultural icon. Could it be that his success has made him a target? There's speculation that certain industry rivals or even former associates might be fueling the fire behind these accusations, using this moment of vulnerability to settle old scores. While there's no concrete proof of this, it's a theory that's gaining traction among some of his most loyal supporters.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
Adding to the intrigue is the role of his business competitors. Diddy has always been a fierce player in the entertainment world, and his rise to power didn't come without stepping on a few toes. Some are whispering that this could be a calculated move by individuals in the industry to dethrone him and claim a bigger piece of the pie for themselves. After all, when someone as powerful as Diddy faces this level of scrutiny, it opens the door for opportunists to swoop in and capitalize on the chaos. Could this be more than just a legal battle? Could it be a war for influence and control?
But it will be up to the jury,
control?
and there's really another piece of this case, and that's the racketeering case, and they don't really talk about that. Diddy's attorneys, Sean Combs' attorneys, they stay away from the racketeering part of this. They are focused solely on the trafficking part of this case.
Are all these lawsuits and allegations coming to light at this particular moment? Some suggest it's no coincidence, pointing to the fact that Diddy was reportedly planning a major business expansion before everything came crashing down. Could it be that his ambition threatened the wrong people, triggering a chain of events designed to stop him in his tracks? It's a question worth asking as we watch this saga unfold, whether you believe in conspiracy theories or not. One thing's for sure, there's more to the story than meets the eye. And speaking of the court of public...
Well, certainly there's a lot of information that needs to be substantiated, investigated, and those kinds of things. But when we look at people who become offenders, we oftentimes see early exposure to whether that's or actual behavior, and we oftentimes see that within the family.
And opinion, let's not forget the media circus surrounding this case. Every new allegation, every leaked detail, every court appearance, it's all being scrutinized and sensationalized. Headlines scream of betrayal, power plays, and shocking revelations, ensuring that Diddy's name stays in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. But is this constant media attention helping or hurting his case? On one hand, it keeps the public engaged and adds pressure on the courts to act decisively. On the other hand, it risks creating a narrative that might make it difficult for Diddy to get a fair trial after all. How can a jury remain impartial when the entire world has already formed an opinion? Nowhere's where things get even more interesting. Rumors are swirling that Diddy's legal team might be considering a plea deal. Yes, you heard that right, a plea deal for someone as proud and defiant as Diddy. The idea that he might voluntarily admit to any wrongdoing is almost unthinkable, but insiders are saying that his lawyers are exploring all options to minimize the fallout, especially with the stakes this high. The speculation is that Diddy might agree to certain terms in exchange for reduced consequences, possibly even to protect his family from further scrutiny. Could it be true? Would Diddy, the ultimate survivor, really make such a move? And if so, what does that say about the strength of the case against him?
Diddy is now suing. So according to our friends over at Us Magazine, Diddy, who remains in the Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center while he awaits trial. Us Weekly writes this. It says Sean Diddy Combs has filed a defamation lawsuit against one of his accusers, their attorney.
Of course, any talk of a plea deal raises questions about what exactly Diddy would be willing to admit to and what he would want in return. Some believe he might use this opportunity to shift focus away from himself and onto others, possibly implicating former associates or even family members. Others think he might try to frame himself as a victim of circumstance, someone who was targeted because of his success and influence. Either way, the idea of Diddy striking a deal is enough to send shockwaves through the industry. What would it mean for his legacy, his businesses, and his reputation? And more importantly, how would his fans...
He claimed that he had video footage. He also claimed to have the real Kim Porter memoir.
React. But let's not forget the elephant in the room. Diddy's family, with so many allegations flying around. There's growing speculation that other members of the Combs family might be involved in some way. Remember, this isn't just about Diddy anymore. His entire inner circle is now under the microscope, from his mother. Mysterious disappearance to the whispers of tension among his siblings and children. It's clear that this is a family in crisis. Some are even wondering if certain family members might have been complicit in the very actions Diddy is being accused of. Could the scandal go deeper than anyone imagined? And if so, what will happen to the Combs dynasty? The involvement of Diddy's family adds another layer of complexity to an already messy situation. His children, who have often been seen as the heirs to his empire, are now facing an uncertain future. Will they stand by their father? Or will they distance themselves to protect their own reputations? And what about his siblings, who have been noticeably silent throughout this ordeal? Are they staying quiet out of loyalty? Or is there more to the story as the legal battles intensify? The dynamics within the Combs family are sure to come under even greater scrutiny.
While appearing on News Nation, Burgess claimed to possess, quote, 11 flash drives that allegedly featured videos of 8 celebrities, 6 men, and 2 women. Burgess alleged that, quote, 2 to 3 of the individuals were minors.
And then there's the question of what comes next. With so many unresolved issues and so much at stake, the future of Sean Diddy Combs hangs in the balance. Will he fight tooth and nail to clear his name? Or will he take a step back and let his legal team handle the fallout? Will his empire survive the storm? Or will it crumble under the weight of these accusations? And perhaps most intriguingly, what role will his family play in shaping the outcome?
outcome.
Is illustrating is this completely out of control party on a super yacht, including various celebrities, that when you read it, it kind of rings true. I mean, when you read it, it doesn't come off as being something that's completely unbelievable.
As we wait for the next chapter in this unfolding drama, one thing is certain. The story of Shaw Diddy Combs is far from over. With every new revelation, every court hearing, and every rumor that hits the headlines, the stakes only get higher. And as the world watches, one can't help but wonder, how much more can one man take? Is this the beginning of the end for Diddy? Or does he have one last trick up his sleeve? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this is a story we won't soon forget. Stay tuned, and as we wrap up this shocking chapter in the life of Shaw Diddy Combs, we can't help but wonder, could you ever forgive such a betrayal from someone? So close, and what do you think the future holds for the Combs family? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity gossip and dropping stories. Until next time, stay tuned.